Woman who allegedly abused her son was fired. And we met that little boy earlier today. His name is Mark Campos. He is 8 years old and he barely spoke. But what happened to him at Generation Kids Academy in Brunswick speaks volumes. You can see him highlighted on the left side of your screen playing with the box. And seconds later, the daycare's director, Sarah Williams, appears to throw the box at Mark, who was 7 years old at the time, and knock him into a filing cabinet. Two different surveillance videos show Williams, who has since been fired on 2 different days. And that video led to her arrest for 2 counts of cruelty to children. Cynthia Campos held back tears when she talked about her little boy's quiet strength.
He hasn't verbalized that and told me, what caused him to be put in that room. But he did share that she had stated that she was going to beat my ass, is why he didn't tell me. And he was also trying to protect the other kids from getting hurt, is what he shared, is why he didn't say anything.
This all would not have come to light if it weren't for a voicemail of the alleged abuse accidentally sent from the now fired employee to her boss, the daycare owner. Cell phone. Stay with us at 5. We'll play that for you. Reporting live in Brunswick, Yona Gavino, Action News Jax.
New at 4, a 30-year-old inmate has died in police custody. In the last 90 minutes, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says that Jamin Wynn died yesterday. He was arrested Monday on drug charges. JSO says that he had a medical issue while heading to court and died a few hours later. Investigators are waiting for autopsy results to learn what happened. This is the 5th inmate to die in JSO custody so far this year. Just last week, a 38-year-old inmate also died. To put that into perspective for you, a total of 7 inmates died in custody in all of 2024. And today marks 3 months since the death of inmate Charles Faggart. Action News Jax has been investigating and digging for answers ever since his death. Now, Faggart's death led to 9 JSO Corrections employees being removed from their positions and reassigned. So far, little information has been released on exactly what happened to Faggart, and no decision has been made on whether those employees will be charged or not. New at 4, a Ponte Vedra Beach man pleaded guilty to fraud involving COVID-19 medical equipment. James Davis II told investors that he ran a medical supply company that sold masks and other equipment to hospitals during the pandemic. But prosecutors say he was lying and used investors' money to buy a membership at a luxury beach club and $27,000 on custom clothing. He's facing up to 60 years in prison. FEMA has set up a disaster recovery center in Texas to help flooding survivors and the families of the victims. 121 people have died, and crews are now on day 7 of searching along the banks of the Guadalupe River. Officials say 170 people are still missing. Most of the people missing are in Kerr County, where officials have been pressed to explain why a code red alert went out late. Let's take a live look at downtown Jacksonville, where a busy road is closed yet again. This is East Bay Street near the Maxwell Coffee plant. And Action News Jax told you a cave-in shut that road down earlier this week. It reopened, but now another crew is doing some work to make sure that that sewer line doesn't deteriorate any further. We're told that work is supposed to wrap up by Friday, but until then, the westbound lanes will be closed. Well, 31 people who were trapped after an underground tunnel collapsed are now safe. This happened last night in Los Angeles. The workers were 6 miles from the tunnel's entrance when this all happened. Aerial video shows the rescue efforts as the workers stepped inside of a metal compartment that was then hoisted by a crane. The exact cause of the collapse is under investigation. New at 4, Naval Station Mayport welcomed a new commanding officer this morning. Captain Michael Trumbull relieved Captain Brian Bender as commanding officer during a ceremony. Captain Trumbull has been enlisted since 1994. He's completed multiple deployments aboard different ships and was awarded several medals. Captain Trumbull also received a bachelor's degree from economics from the University of Florida. Some big changes are coming to the mortgage industry, and it could make it easier for first-time home buyers to qualify for a loan. Action News Jax Nicholas Brooks tells us about a new policy that's expanding credit access.
Mortgage lenders have long relied on FICO scores to approve home loans, but that's changing. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will now accept VantageScore, which includes rent payments. That could help more Americans, especially those with limited credit history, qualify for a mortgage.
This will be a very impactful model for young borrowers who actually do have good or better credit. That Vantage model is almost certainly going to represent a higher credit score than the FICO model.
Ben Sykes, a partner at First Coast Mortgage Alliance, says his agency already uses this policy and explains how young consumers can take advantage of it.
If you're renting directly from a landlord, they will have to verify that data. If you're, renting from a large apartment complex, they will verify that data. So it is not as simple as you just making your payment and saying, I made my payment.
He says rent, phone, and utility bills are considered self-reported data. And once you pay them on time, it's important to make sure that information is actually reported to VantageScore, either by your landlord or through third-party services like TransUnion. He added how this could be a big help to first-time home buyers with limited credit history.
This should be a net positive for buyers to have higher credit scores, lower fees, lower rates, lower mortgage insurance.
But Sykes warns if you miss payments under this system, that too will be reported and it could lower your credit score. So what does this mean for you? If you're a renter thinking about buying a home, this new policy could work in your favor. For local coverage you can count on reporting in Jacksonville, I'm Nicholas Brooks, Action News Jax.
The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office confirmed the identity of a man shot and killed by an officer during an armed robbery. Investigators say 20-year-old Jamari Akins tried to rob a Family Dollar in the Harbor View area yesterday morning. We did find a lengthy criminal history. He was released from prison in May of 2024 for car theft and for having cocaine in jail. In May of this year, he was charged with aggravated battery on a pregnant woman. Action News Jax learned that case was dropped. Jacksonville Mayor Donna Deegan has agreed to let Atlantic Beach pay half of what the city normally pays for fire and rescue services. Action News Jax Finn Carlin reports Atlantic Beach is still deciding whether to cut its contract with the Jacksonville Fire Rescue Department in the long term.
We need to, I believe at this time, we need to take action.
This is from one of the first conversations between Atlantic Beach city leaders in April going over its contract with Jacksonville. Some made the argument that Neptune Beach doesn't have to pay for the same fire rescue services, so Atlantic Beach shouldn't either.
We shouldn't have paid last year. That was my thinking, and I don't think we should pay another penny after this year.
But this was before Mayor Ford met with Jacksonville Mayor Donna Deegan to talk about fire rescue services. This is the new agreement they reached after their meeting last month. It says we agreed to reduce the payments due to the city of Jacksonville under the fire rescue services contract to $750,000, which expires on May 31st, 2026. Atlantic Beach has been paying Jacksonville double that amount every year for more than 25 years. When I asked if the lower payment to Jacksonville would affect fire services, Atlantic Beach sent me this email saying the level of service for fire and rescue services remains the same. The city hasn't shared what will happen if it ends up cutting its contract with Jacksonville, but some aren't feeling the fees.
Fire services are a county service.
Yes.
And therefore should be paid for by the county.
I reached out to Mayor Ford, Mayor Deegan, and the Atlantic Beach City Commissioners to get their response to this agreement, but none have yet been able to answer our questions about this deal. It is, though, going before the Atlantic Beach City Commission on Monday night, starting at 6 inside Atlantic Beach City Hall. For local coverage you can count on in Atlantic Beach, Finn Carlin, Action News Jax.
Atlantic Beach asking people to report this plant. Is called Beach Vitex. It was recently found growing on the dunes. Action News Jax Madison Foglio spoke with an invasive species expert about the dangers that the spread of this plant could cause to our beaches.
The city of Atlantic Beach is working to stop the spread of an invasive plant species on its beaches before it's too late.
But right now we're dealing with less than half an acre. And so, it's a very small, isolated population of this very aggressive invasive plant that has the potential to spread throughout our entire, Duval County dune systems.
The Beach Vitex is not native to Florida. It's a woody shrub or vine that can easily be identified by its round leaves, blue or purple flowers, and it typically forms dense mats on the ground, or in this case, the dunes. While this plant may look pretty, experts tell me it can severely weaken the dunes if it continues to spread.
The root system is not the, fine-grained fibrous root system that our native plants typically have. So what happens is as those waves come in and hit the sand and the dunes, it easily washes out from underneath these plants. And
Atlantic Beach officials are asking that if you spot the beach vitex, take a picture of it and send it to this email on your screen. For local coverage you can count on, reporting in Atlantic Beach, I'm Madison Foglio, Action News Jax.
I'm Action News Jax. First Alert meteorologist Corey Sima down into St. Johns County. Look at St. Augustine Beach with the abundant blue sky and sunshine overhead. There's a little bit of rain tracking through the Jacksonville metro now, and where to expect rain over the next few hours. Those First Alert details are next.
Next at 4, a woman says an injector left her face paralyzed, where she decided to get that work done. New at 4, a Florida woman is experiencing facial paralysis after she claims she got Botox in someone's backyard. This is Rosa Mena. She's accused of running an illegal med spa in this shed in her Port St. Lucie backyard. The victim says she was offered a refund and told she could get injected with vitamins to reverse her paralysis. Mena's license was expired and she is now facing several charges, including aggravated battery and fraud. A Ukrainian woman accused of running an illegal injection business out of her Jacksonville apartment is set to enter a plea soon. In May, Olena Malashevich was arrested for working without a medical license and injecting unknown fillers into people. She is due in court next Thursday. Tonight, the Clay County Sheriff's Office wants to hear from neighbors about concerns. Sheriff Michelle Cook, the county's judge, and a detective will be there to answer questions. That meeting is at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church and it starts at 6 p.m. Now for information on products and how you can save some money, here's local steals and deals.
As a gardening expert, I'm often asked what grows quickly, gives me lots of flowers and some fragrance, and maybe can I even get a blue flower in there? Well, that last part is a tough request because blue flowers are rare, but not with this beautiful 3-piece Mandevilla set from Cottage Farms Direct. You're getting one that's red, you're getting one that's white, and you're getting a beautiful violet blue flowering vine as well. And these are an annual, so you're going to get that instant burst of patriotic color in your garden this season. And they grow quickly. Here's what you're getting. You're getting 3 growing plants actively growing in 4-inch pots. And we've even gone to the trouble of marking which color is which for you when you get them out of the box. So no confusion. You can put these in a pot, like a 10-inch pot each. You can also put them all 3 in a large whiskey barrel if you want that full-on patriotic look as well. You can also plant these in the ground and just give them something to climb up or across, because remember, this is a climbing vine full of gorgeous flowers. They love a sunny spot. They want regular watering. Give them some fertilizer every couple of weeks, and you're going to have the most beautiful garden on the block. And right now, we're offering 42% off on Cottage Farms Direct. Just head to localsteals.com for this exclusive, gorgeous offer.
A full moon is expected tonight, so if you're out on the roads, you might not be alone. Environmental engineers are warning drivers of a 46% increase in car crashes with wildlife during a full moon. Swerving from animals may cause you to lose control, and while hitting wildlife can be deadly for the animal and driver, you need to still watch out.
In urban areas, there's a light pollution, so the wildlife is probably less affected by the lighting of the surroundings. Whereas in rural areas, we don't have as much street lights.
If you are driving during the full moon, experts recommend just go slower and just stay alert.
Moonrise at 8:51 later tonight. Should be a nice view, especially looking out to the east over the Atlantic. There are a few showers and storms out there this afternoon. A lot of the activity, especially here in the Jacksonville metro, is starting to fade away. There have been 3 areas of rain we've been watching the last 20 to 30 minutes. One in western Duval, one on the south side down toward the St. Johns County line, and then one out toward the beaches. The rain is leaving the coast. It is quickly tapering off as this shower is approaching I-95. There is some light to moderate rain over I-95 just south of 295. We're talking Bayard, Bartram, even down toward Durbin and northern St. Johns County. That shower is going away. I don't think it's even going to make it to Nocatee. And then we have this rain that's over the west beltway of 295, just inside the beltway. That's almost completely gone. We have some new showers that have just been developing the last 5 or so minutes just north of JIA near the Duval and Nassau County line. We'll keep an eye on that. We do have some storms, though, in northern Baker County and northern Columbia County, just east of Highway 441 and then just west of Taylor as well. These are going to be the spots to watch to the west and north of Jacksonville over the next few hours, in particular up into southeast Georgia for additional shower and thunderstorm development. But for the metro, it's looking like most, if not all, of our rain is done. And this is a very telling shot on our Riverside First Alert Skycam network. We're looking over the St. Johns River to the south, and you can see how the bottom of that cloud is really high up. And that's that shower right there. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's thin. That's literally that storm raining itself out. And it's about to be completely gone. Hour by hour, the evening commute may have some wet spots on the roads, especially in southern Duval, extreme northern St. Johns. We're watching southeast Georgia for additional showers and storms the next couple of hours, but into this evening and tonight, with the exception of southeast Georgia, conditions are looking mainly dry. And then tomorrow, it is the beginning of a 2-day red snapper season. And, you know, if you're headed out early, chances are better it's going to be drier. It doesn't look like knockdown, drag out, widespread rain and storms in the afternoon, but you got to keep an eye to the sky later. If you're headed out early in the morning, it's looking dry. It'll be humid, of course, but there shouldn't be any problems out there on the water. And hour by hour, let's time out the rain here. You see that dry start with that clear map tomorrow morning. As we move through midday, we may see the first hints of showers developing farther inland, potentially near the sea breeze along the coast. And then by the afternoon, there will be a few showers and thunderstorms out there. Locally heavy downpours of rain, of course, but it's not going to rain everywhere. And there will be plenty of dry spots. And yeah, there will be dry times this weekend. Your weekend is always in view. The rain coverage looks even lesser on Saturday. Then it ticks up a little bit on Sunday as the days do look wetter into next week. But it stays plenty hot in the meantime. You can get the latest First Alert weather and track that live radar at actionnewsjax.com.
Coming up, a sea turtle found on a porch. The warning St. Johns County officials are giving to neighbors. A Lee County man wrongfully arrested after AI facial recognition technology used by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office got it wrong.
To be accused of something like that really blew my mind.
According to a police report, Robert Dillon was linked to a suspect caught on surveillance video at a local McDonald's accused of trying to lure a 12-year-old child.
Police are not allowed under the Constitution to arrest somebody without probable cause, and this technology expressly cannot provide probable cause. It is so glitchy, it's so unreliable. At best, it has to be viewed as an extremely unreliable lead because it often gets it wrong.
Watch the full story of AI Wrong Guy tonight at 5:45 on Action News Jax. New at 4, an adult loggerhead sea turtle was seen crawling on someone's porch. This happened in St. Johns County earlier this month. Look at there. Officials say the turtle was disoriented by the white lights and didn't nest. Officials say this is an example of why they encourage people to turn off their lights. Now, the turtle was able to make it back to the ocean safely, but officials say many end up hurt, heading the wrong way. Epic Universe could be getting more epic. Universal Orlando has filed for an expansion project less than 2 months after it opened. The paperwork classifies the project as a shop, warehouse, or restaurant. No timeline has been given for when it will be done. However, we do know it will be between the Super Nintendo World and the park's main entrance. New at 4, an update out of Camden County. The police department says they found their canine Willow after she disappeared. We told you at noon the department says they last saw her this morning in the White Oak area, but she was found safe and sound, and police are thanking the community for helping to find her. Court?
Besides some spots of rain, Tanika, to the south and west of Green Cove Springs, the rain is fading away in the Jacksonville metro. We still have some clouds. Those are anvil clouds left over from the rain overhead. You can see in the distance billowing clouds with some thunderstorms north of Lake City. Southeast Georgia is going to be the spot to watch for rain over the next few hours, and Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish will be tracking that threat coming up at 5 o'clock.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Much more ahead on Action News Jax at 5. The town of Waycross remembering the death of a local sergeant killed in a drone attack.